How do you respond to Protestants that say any depiction of God? I'm not saying all Protestants, but there's definitely a healthy strain of them that do. Any depiction of the divine is somehow, they're iconoclasts, right? And they're against them.
Right. So this gets into huge things. I mean, you bring up iconoclasm,
You
right?
got about 6 minutes. So
okay,
let's hear it, Joey.
Here we go. So, yeah, I mean, there was historically in the church a real problem with getting stuck on icons, right? And almost worshiping these icons and getting confused with like images of God or statues of the Blessed Virgin Mary. And so the solution was let's throw them all away, right? And that's what iconoclasm refers to, right? But both of these extremes are not really the answer, right? The goal is how do I keep the icon that points me to the deeper reality without turning the icon into an idol. Right. In our culture, the way we understand the human body is in the same way, right? The one of the greatest icons that God makes visible is human sexuality, right? And the same argument that you said could be said to that, like how could we conceive or talk about that being like God? Because doesn't it fall short of the splendor of who God is? Yeah, of course it does. Any analogy falls like dramatically. If it contains like anything similar, it's an equal or greater dissimilarity. But even so, God created us to live in a sacramental reality, a world of icons. And if we try to pretend like we're not, we're doing like the iconoclasm.
Well, he didn't just create us, right? He entered into that same
and he entered into
reality.
That sacramentality. Right. And we missed the whole point. That's the good news of Christianity, is we can actually reclaim the icons to be what they're meant to be, but not get stuck on them.
My personal analogy that I always think of is I think of icons and statues as like a FaceTime call, but with like really, really bad Wi-Fi. So no one dishes on FaceTime except for when it has bad Wi-Fi. But FaceTime is a good thing. You're able to look at the person you're talking to, who you love or care about, and that helps you think about them and feel closer to them. And you don't treat the phone like them.
So I was going to say, it obviously fails in comparison to the actual human. Yeah,
exactly. But it's still a good thing because it helps direct you to them. Like icons are very crappy FaceTime calls to heaven.
It's the best we got.
But it's also, I mean, it's also like, like we mentioned before we went to this question, is man is an image of God. And so God took on that image. And so in a way, when you take a picture of your family or something, that's an icon of your family, right. You can say. So, you have these icons of your family to remember these little memories, like these little blots of memories that you have with them. And that's the same thing what an icon is. It's just a picture of what the gospel is saying, you can say, right? So it's, so it kind of doesn't make sense not to be able to, because if you're venerating, you can say the biblical text, what's the difference if I draw what the biblical text is saying? Because we're also visual animals, we're
physical creatures that God made physically to interact physically with them.
Yeah, exactly.